Well, a very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the start of day 6 of 11 of this 2026 Predator European Pool Championships here in the Miracle Resort, Antalya, Turkey. You join us for a winners qualification matchup in the women's 8-ball event, race to 6 alternate break matchup between Yasmin Ouschan, multiple world champion, and Sarah Rocha from Portugal, multiple European champion. It's my pleasure to be joined in the commentating box by Tim de Ruyter. My name is Gethin Davis. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Get. And yeah, another great match to watch, actually. Sarah, the last couple of years, very strong on the European circuit. And well, as you just mentioned, Jasmine doesn't really need the introduction, but this match could definitely be closer than we would expect, or than most of the people would expect.
Agreed. You'd have to consider these two as veterans of the game, considering the age of players that we've got in these and our under-23 events, but still going very, very strong and delivering well on both international and European scene. Jasmine to break.
Yeah, and what a break that was. Just look at the cue ball control. The BK Rush does it again, I would say. Just mine doesn't work like that. It's weird.
She's been under the Predator umbrella for many years now. She really does get that break stick working to full effect. She's having a look around now, studying if it's going to be solids or stripes that she goes for. She had another look at the 9-12 combination there, if it's set up for her. But there's a bit more trouble out there. Looks like the 2's covering another stripe.
Yeah, I kind of like taking the 3 ball, going up to the 5, use the 5 ball to either leave myself the 2 ball in the long upper corner, or maybe give it a nudge. And in that case, you would still have 3 balls up table, which you could land on in case you don't really get nicely on the 2 ball.
No, that's wise words. It looks like she's decided to pick off this troublesome 4 early on, and then I'm pretty sure she'll be focused on what she does next with the 2.
Yeah, she does it the other way around than I was expecting, so let's see. We'll probably be a little bit more precise on running into the 2 ball, which isn't the most horrible objective, and I think the 2 ball will go in the top right.
May be forced to take that on now.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's not the most horrible thing. Even if you hit it bad, it could go off the 12. The cue ball goes over, and you're always on the 5 or the 6 ball. So, I mean, it's kind of like, hey, I can wing this towards the corner, and doesn't matter what happened, I can definitely continue. So there's no pressure on getting shape. It's all about the 2 ball.
Yeah, wasn't far away and left perfect shape on the 5. And now we'll get to see Sarah in play. Someone who we've got to know very well over the years on the European scene, and always a solid performer as well. A little nod from Jasmine, suggesting that Sarah's taken on the combination. And that's not fallen too bad, that 9 ball. as the 9 from the combination came round into a nice position. A little shake of the head from Sara there. I think she's just fallen a bit straight on this, maybe wanted to be a bit lower or higher up the table as we look at it. Forced a little angle. We have another winners qualification match taking place on our third stream table right now. Dari Saranchuk is taking on yesterday's final winner, the German Ina Kaplan. And the men's 8-ball event is in the winners qualification as well. On table 2, Jakub Konia, another finalist from yesterday evening, takes on the tough Polish player Wojciech Szewczak. She's played that one nicely as well, Tim, leaving straight 10 into the centre pocket.
Yeah, only has to drop this in to be on the 8, so not too much work on it to where the side pocket could get risky. And the opening rack going to the Portuguese lady.
Well, more importantly, just sending a message over to Jasmine that you make a mistake, I'm going to do my best to jump on it. And as I mentioned, it's alternate break, so we will get to see Sara's break now. Jasmine already getting rewards from her break. But yeah, quick fire stuff.
Sara, who has played quite some hayball in the last 2 years, I believe. I've seen some things come by. And there is a Portuguese version of a table too, with very tight pockets. And they also like to play 8-ball on that. I'm not sure if it's actually a 9-foot, but it can definitely improve her insights on the game as well. So there must be somewhat of a background in that too.
Didn't control the cue ball in the same way as her opponent. Got a good spread. Made a ball. The solids are looking quite friendly out there, Tim. The 5, I'm not sure. It doesn't look like it passes to the bottom right corner, but it's quite high up enough to tempt the right centre.
Yeah, I think... Oh, that's a little bit of a mistake. I would have liked to go 4, use the 3-ball to get on the 1. From the 1 you could nudge the 9, be on the 6. Then come down table, you can play 2, 5, 7 and then the 8.
May need to take on this tricky 1 and use the 9-ball as a blocker. Otherwise, the 2 and the 7 are down this end of the table available.
Yeah, especially so early on in the match, to take on a long 2-ball with difficult cue ball as well. Just doesn't make sense. Nice recovery. Still has to go to the 3-ball now as soon as possible, because it's one of those balls that you don't want to leave till the end. It's not one you want to leave before the 8. Could also play 6, 2, 5, 3, 7. But I kind of like this better. Back to the original plan after this, the 3-ball.
Yeah, she nearly tipped it on the way back, which may have helped, may not have helped. At least the cue ball didn't run up to the 5, which it was threatening to do. Good position shot on this red 3. Teases the centre pocket, but she's come out of the blocks really strong for this winners qualification match, Tim. And looking to get rewards from the good recovery on that one ball. This is a race to 6. So the score can start to run sometimes. I'm sure Jasmine has been in this position plenty of times.
Well, this 8 for a 2-0 lead, putting the pressure on Yasmin from the start. Yasmin, who obviously just flew straight out of Vegas. She wasn't here for the straight ball and the 10 ball, which you can understand. I mean, it's still a long travel, and especially with the time difference. Some players, they choose to start the tournament with the jet lag and win it, like for example Daniel Marshall. But there's also many cases where it doesn't work out, and then in that case, Yasmin might have made a better choice to take a bit more time and just play 2 disciplines or 2 in the teams.
Yeah, 5 different events or disciplines going on over these 11 days. We started off with straight, moved into 10. Now we're getting into the thick of the 8 ball. We'll have teams and 9 ball to follow. And in the 8 and 9, we also have the under 23s joining the women's and the men's. Lots of action for you at home. Lots of action for these players. Jasmine Ouschan to break, trailing 2 racks to 0, race to 6. Making balls in the centre pocket, Tim. She's not completely convinced with the result from the break.
Yeah, you're kind of forced into taking the solids just because of the 6 ball. I'm not sure if the 12 does go to the bottom left. Well, from this angle, it looks to be tight. Otherwise, you could have maybe chosen to go for the stripes and use the 10 to open up the 6 and the 9. But I kind of would say go for the 6, take a risk with the cue ball. Try to bring it back 2 rails forward, back to the center of the table. The other option is go for the 2 ball. Just make the 2. I think the cue ball might softly run into the 5. And then still play a safety afterwards, because you got the 3 balls on the bottom. Just develop those and wait. Well, she might put another cluster there, yeah. The only thing is that this does put less pressure because it's still an open table. If you already have one of the 2, that's where your opponent feels more heat to start running the balls.
Well, we could have us a 3rd rack battle from not just safety play, but also from developing clusters. Little grin from Jasmine. A little bit of chess from these 2 players. It's great to see. It's always fun watching them running balls for fun. But this gives us a real good insight into their deep knowledge of the game. And Jasmine straight away locking that cue ball up, really narrowing down Rocha's options here. Little giggle between the two. As serious as they get about the game, there's some great camaraderie and respect. Called the 11 in the centre. Well, we're off, Tim. Jasmine is halves and Sarah's going to be solids. Looks quite a difficult opportunity at this position, Tim. Be interesting to see which way she wants to tackle this. Has she got an angle to start developing?
I don't think I would want to start developing too much. I mean, see, she hasn't really played for a shot. She's probably gonna roll up on the 14, open the 14 up. And then to where in a position where Sarah will have to do something with the 6. Which she obviously doesn't want. Oh. Well, she hit that a bit thin.
And also, Portuguese woman not looking as convinced either. The blue 2 is always on, but what is the value and where does she go next? Well, you have to say, Tim, that's probably done Jasmine a favour there. Well, she played over for the 14. Will likely hold down there for the 10. I'm wondering if she's looking at something off the 15 to get shape on her last stripe.
Yeah, even if she leaves the cue ball in the center of the table, I think she can roll the 15 in and have the 12 in the center. Just gotta make sure that when she runs into the 7, that the cue ball doesn't slightly follow under the 3 ball. So maybe I would play this with slight draw to go into the 3 ball. As you can see, the 12 does have a slight path by the 2 in the side. Or is she going to run off the 3 into the 12, take more risk? Ooh. On the edge. It's still on though. But it's close. And it's a bit awkward.
Yeah. Just signalling for a referee to come over and inspect this move. Couldn't get closer to the object ball though. Oh, makes it really well jacked up as well to ensure no double hit on the cue ball. And well, a long 8. This to get the score back to 2-1. Used all the pocket, Tim. The 8 has dropped, and just reflecting back on that rack, it looked like there was going to be an exchange of safeties, and well, Sara's played a shot there which opened up the 2 tricky stripes for Jasmine, and can't help but think that was a bit of a poor shot, well, considering that she lost the rack, of course, but just wondering what she had in the back of her mind there.
Well, I guess we will never know. But on the other side, there was a bit of pressure on Jasmine there, because any mistake could have brought Sarah on 3-0. And it's only a race to 6, you know, like in 8 ball, you could have 2 dry breaks and be 4-0 down. So things can go real fast in these somewhat shorter races. But yet, she did get the job done, so it's 2-1. And now, another good break for Sarah.
Yep. Lost the cue ball on her first break, but made balls, or rather made a ball. Similar on this occasion.
Now, she could go either way, but the solid's not as easy as an opener, so I indeed like this 13. And while I'm at it, I might try to go forward and take the 10 also. She hasn't, so now she will have to run up table for the 10. Like there is 1 or 2 balls near the bottom, this 15 and the 12, which are maybe not as easy to land on. Now, honestly, she's got the ideal angle on the 12. I'm going over to the 10 right away. And then from the 10, I can actually, because you're traveling a lot from the 10 back down table, you still have 3 stripes available. So if you can position yourself in the middle of those 3, then you still have more options.
She nudged the 9 ever so slightly. I don't think it's hampered her position on the 14 here, but it looks tricky to be able to get down to the 10. Not ideal. Nicely played round the back of the blue too. Let us not forget, Sara Rocha's opening break was a break and run. 3 balls away from doing that for a second time in 2 opportunities. It looks like with the natural shape here, Tim, she'll run into the 4, and if she follows through, that 8 ball has no centre pocket or top right to go for. Does she have to get creative with this cue ball here?
Yeah, one of the risks of traveling back and forth and only having 1 stripe, and now yeah, has to indeed take the calculated risk, maybe even run into the 8 ball softly. Just gotta be careful not to make the 8 early in the bottom right. Well, great bump. Played it really well. So Sarah Rocha now keeping her lead. Doesn't look too impressed by Yasmin Ouschan at all.
No. But, yeah, nicely judged shot playing into the 8 there. And 2 break and runs sees Rocha got to 3-1 in this race to 6. And, well, take your hat off to her. She has played flawless when she's had the chance. Just one missed bank shot perhaps, or an attempted safety. But great stuff for the Portuguese player. Just having a little look around in our other winners qualification matches underway. On our other table is Daria Salanchuk. She's 3-1 up against Ina Kaplan. And there are some big names in there. I'll bring you some more updates as and when we get the opportunity to. We will return back to Jasmine Ouschan. She breaking, trailing 3 racks to 1.
Oh, and this is a brutal leave too.
Wow.
Nice impact on the break. Good cue ball. Well, there's just only one thing that Predator BK Rush cannot do. And that's give you guaranteed shape on the next ball, right? This is a tough leave.
If they did, they wouldn't be able to make them quick enough.
Well,
But
they already
again-
have that issue.
Good point. Importantly though, Jasmine making balls off the break, getting a good spread, getting back to the table. Needed to put Sara in a bit more trouble than she is now. Looks like there's a window to the 9 in case that's going to be her easy opener.
Yeah, do you assume she can play the 14 into the 9 from this position?
I didn't hear a call.
She did say something though, and it wasn't the extension. Yeah, and this has turned out perfect. The 14 could have nestled up with the 2, but it hasn't. Now I would say the 13 or the 11 are 2 of those balls which I like to take care of. So if she can go off the 10, try to land next to the 4. She's always gonna have the 14 in case she doesn't get there, but I really like to land on the 11. Yeah, she's playing really well, Geth. Now if she
Yeah,
can, same thing with the 13. The 13 is awkward, so if she can land right on it right now, then she has 3 balls near the 8.
Yeah, she's really doing a few laps of the table, surveying her pattern, readjusting if that cue ball misbehaves. And world-class stuff from Sara here, and needs to be against a player of Jasmine's caliber.
Yeah, did run a bit quick on this 13, so I indeed like the 12. If you go one rail, you kind of run towards the 13. You do have 2 backup shots with the 15 and the 14 as well. Just wondering, hopefully she did not play for the 15. I just don't like the 13 as the ball going towards the 8. But maybe she's just not taking any risks. As long as you keep putting, I mean, most of the time you'll get there. So important on this 13 is the fact that you need to land straight on it now to go to the 8. If you leave yourself an angle towards the right, that's where things get a bit more tricky. The 7 ball could come into play, or you have to leave yourself a big cut. So Would like to get a bit straighter than this.
Ooh.
Are you running
Looks
the
like
cue ball 3 rails?
Well, that would be the preferred option. I think if she was to draw, that's 7. Well, it looks even wider than that. Yeah, it's going to be 3 rails just back, just short of where her cue ball is right now would be ideal. Big shot for Sara Rocha to get to 4-1 in this race to 6.
Yeah, she was trying to find a window between the 5 and the side pocket, and yeah, she like a stun forward with right spin is so sensitive. I'd rather go 3 rails or maybe even draw directly into the bottom short rail. But that was tough. That was a tough shot to play, and what could have been 4-1 most likely is going to turn into a 3-2, and that means Yasmin right back into this match.
Yeah, and Sara made the pot. So it wasn't a mistake from the potting, it was just the cue ball misbehaving. And a scratch for Jasmine, with Sara already taking her traffic off the table. And you would like to think that this should be 3-2. Gives us more excitement in the box, although I have to say, if Sara were to have gone 4-1, I would have been just as excited, to be fair. Because it's been great pool. Well, she has taken care of these nicely. Sara watching on. She put in all the hard work in this rack to get herself to a very good position. Unfortunately, the scratch on the cue ball has allowed Jasmine back to the table. She does not need asking twice. Brings the scoreline back to 3-2. Will be Sara to break. Just having a look over our other table, the matchup between Jakub Kunia and Wojciech Szewczek. Just having a look, it is locked at 3 apiece on that table, and they're on a race to 8 in their 8-ball winners qualification match. And across our other table being played right now on table 3, Daria Sananchuk is 3 racks to 1 up on Ina Kaplan, who took the 10-ball title yesterday. Top class pool on all 3 tables for you. Sara from Portugal to break. She's in the lead 3 racks to 2, race to 6.
Yeah, now things going downhill slightly, where she had 2 successful breaks in the match so far. She had that scratch last track, and then now, of course, a dry break. And look at these stripes. 13, 14, go to the 12, go forward for the 9. Get off the rail to where you have the 11, 10, 15. It's just all about the 8. Could go for solids too, I just don't like the opener as much. You've got 2 stripes next to the 8 to work something out.
Yeah. Jasmine going stripes. think you've called that correctly, Tim. The only ball that has to be given extra consideration will be the 8 ball. A few more stripes to get through yet, though.
Well, that 9 ball is definitely one of those balls that you're trying to get rid of soon, so she's landed perfect on this 12 to move over.
She's had a couple of looks to see if that 8 goes through the 7-2. I don't think we've had the opportunity to look at that angle in any great depth. The overhead suggests no.
It's a bit worrying, but she does have the angle on the 11 now to run into the 8, just softly. You're always onto the 15 to the side or the 10, the cut on the 10. But it's more risk. I mean, obviously, we don't want to bump into balls.
She doesn't feel there's an easy way to get shape on the 8. It might be her only option, Tim. She's clearly having a good think about it. Oh, she did. How's the cue ball? Needs to rub underneath the 15. It has done, I think. And that leaves her with a cut onto the bottom right corner. Great shot.
Yeah, but work is not done yet. You would say, oh, it's open now. Now I can just slice this 10 in. But very easy to fall on the wrong angle on this 15. So is she going 2 rails around it? Is she going to land to the left side of the 15 to play in the center? Back and forth. Yeah, she's enough at least to draw straight back into the right long rail.
Yeah, straight or high was what was needed. She played that really well. Long rail, long rail. Decided against the draw. Punched it over across around the 1 ball. This 8 to have bring the score back from what was 3-1. Now back to 3-3. Jasmine Ouschan is tied up with Sarah Rocha from Portugal in this race to 6. I think Sarah's just inclinated she's going to take her time out. And in that same vein, both myself and Tim de Ruyter, we will take a timeout too, and we will join back for the remainder of this winners qualification matchup. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Well, a warm welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the next instalment of this wonderful winners qualification matchup at the 2026 Predator European Pool Championships. You've joined us for Jasmine Ouschan versus Sarah Rocha. They are locked up at 3 apiece in this exciting encounter. My name is Gethin Davis, and joining me back in the box for this one, Tim de Lauter. Tim, well, I'm not going to be calling this one.
Yeah, I mean, this match has completely flipped over, and now it's just a race to 3 with Jasmine to break. So you would say, coming back from 2-0 and 3-1, that she is the favorite now suddenly. Can she close out the match with that roll? Well, definitely with that break.
Oh.
I mean, we know 8-ball is the breaker's game. The one with the best break occasionally is gonna win the title. Well, I have to say, to have the opportunity to take 3 balls off the table does make this game a lot easier.
And she really does have choices as well. Could go either way here.
Yeah, although I do like the stripes, I do like to start with the 11. Just because you got that little... Well, it's not a cluster, but you got the 5 and the 6, I believe, under the 8. Which is not so easy to get to. But she doesn't feel the 11. I thought play the 11, get back to the center of the table. That's where you have 3 options. But she can use this 10 to go back to the 11. There's so many options in this rack because the stripes are all open. She could use almost every ball to get to the 8 ball. Except for the 11. I'm not a big fan of the 11.
Not on this occasion. But yeah, I have to back that up. That is a title-winning break. Of course, the players need to back it up when they've got the break working. But it certainly does make life that smidge bit easier. And now, 11 is the order of the day. And there was only 5 stripes out there for her to pick off. She's picking them off quite quickly.
Yeah, a bit more angle on this 15, so she might have to run this to play the 8 in the same corner as the 15. Unless she can, if she feels like she can hold the cue ball for the 8 in the left center, I would play that. But it looks like she slightly has too much. Was she drawing straight over? No. Okay, so a bit more cut on to the 8, but this for a breaker run and the first lead of the match for the Austrian.
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. What a timely moment to make the break and run. Sarah got her account off. Her second rack was a very nice break and run, and that helped her get a 2-rack lead. On this occasion, it's now the first time Jasmine Ouschan has taken the lead. She now is 4-3 up, and well, Sarah took the time out there, Tim, and that may have given Jasmine just a little bit more time to think about her break. Needs to return with a good one from herself. Has been making balls off the break.
Well, she does have the chance to make this match level at 4. She has made a ball on the break. No clusters on first look. But which do we prefer? I think you could go either way.
Yeah, look at that 7. Passing the 2 and the 1, I think, is her pathway to considering solids.
Yeah, I kind of like the stripes though. Cut the 13 in, get to the 14. If you get straight, for example, on the 9, it puts you straight on the 11, and a little bit forward puts you on the 10. And the 10 gets you to the 8, so that as an ending is not so bad. But she is going solid, so in that case the 7 ball needs to go as soon as possible, which I think she has it to the corner.
Clearly a very thoughtful player. She does go around and sum up her options, and that's with 8 ball after the break. It's the most important time to apply it.
Well, you could still do it every shot, but your shot routine has to be so consistently. Yeah, something like this should not happen, you know? Because if you check for 10 seconds about how everything is going in the pattern, and then you use 20 seconds for the shot itself, then there is not any worries there should not be any worries. But now when she reached towards the end and she stood back up and took her extension, she kind of wasted her extension there. So time-wise, she won't be able to put herself in a very awkward position because she won't have any extension left.
Got to put a shot on this 6.
Yeah, she was going forward. I did not like this at all. I thought she was maybe gonna draw back. She has got herself into trouble with how great she landed onto that 7 ball. She might have felt the heat. She might have felt like, hey, suddenly I have to play a perfect set from this position because Jasmine turned up.
Yeah. She just didn't look comfortable on that 7 at all, and didn't get a very nice cue ball for shape on her next. And wow, made a good hit, Tim. Legal shot, but Jasmine back at the table.
Yeah, and look at this. As I mentioned, the 9 gets you straight on the 11, and that puts you onto the 10 to go to the 8. So kind of like 14, 15, 12, 13 possibly, or 13, 12. Just depends kind of on how you land exactly. If you can play the 12 in the bottom right and follow the cue ball, you get straight onto the 9. So 15 ball now, just top spin, float this in. Yeah, my preference would be take the 13 first and put myself close and straight enough on the 12. Oh, she's gonna stun this off the rail. So she will have to play a solid draw off this 13, or maybe 2 rails, maybe better, towards the center of the table.
Yeah, but straight from the break, Tim, you identified this closing pattern. And with Sarah going for solids, this was always left remaining. It's always nice to see a player pulling it off though.
Yeah, a little pat on the back.
Absolutely. It's not easy from here. Sometimes we think we can see it all. I guarantee you we haven't seen it all. But if you can identify the most logical pathway, and the top players in the world are out there reenacting it, you're onto something, Tim.
Yeah, maybe I should play a little bit. Maybe one day.
The chance would be a fine thing. Predator and PBS have too many tournaments, Tim.
True, yeah, that is. It's more about the opportunity.
Yeah.
But imagine also now this score. She's now perfect on the 8. This is gonna put the Austrian on the hill first. She's won 4 on a spin. And she'll be breaking. Overall, strong match from Jasmine. And same for Sarah. The biggest problem has been for Sarah, the wheels have come up a bit. Because she's missed one in the top left. Then she had a dry break. And then now she hooked herself. And that technically was her biggest struggle. Like, that's, of course, it's 3 mistakes in a race of 6. But she was also leading. So, overall, it's not like they've been missing balls all over. It's not like the break was horrible all over. They really have made this a good match. Which, I'm surprised Jasmine took this away quite a bit after being down so much.
Yeah, the way Sarah took the first 2 racks, many a player would have sat back thinking, well, it's not my day today and it's someone else's day. But Jasmine, oh, the 2 drops, but Jasmine just is always in there, hasn't taken a time out, has just been focused. And now, 4 on the bounce, finds herself on the hill, Tim. Big exhale. Did she want solids there? Because, oh, maybe, yeah.
Well, I did put out that we had great breaks all match. Of course, there had to be one where she didn't hit it full and the cue ball zigzagging and just barely making a ball. And also, just because of that, this layout just turned out to be different, a bit more scrappy. She's forced into taking the stripes, starting off with the 13. But that 12 ball, the 15 still goes to the bottom left. But the 12 ball, I find very difficult to land on. Oh, this 4 might go, so she might go. Okay, used everything of the pocket there. Well, in that case, the solids are pretty much open. Maybe the 6 ball I'm not a big fan of.
She clearly didn't like the 15. And the position play on the 15 and the 12 down there. She's gone for solids. And that's not bad. That will give her the 7 and then the 6.
Yeah, where would you play the 6? Does the 6 go in the top right?
Squeeze it off the 10.
Well, quite sure that's not the shot she will like to play. Just throwing it out there. Don't listen to Catherine.
That is the reason I'm here and not out there.
Now, has to land on the proper side of the 3 ball, which means she'll have to draw back at least where the cue ball is now. That, maybe a ball further. And I think she's fallen okay enough to be able to draw back. It's a bit crossing the positional area a bit, but that's where precise cue ball control helps a lot in playing 8-ball. So I have to draw this back a diamond. Try to land straight-ish on the 1 ball. You don't want any angle running towards the 8. And she's called the extension with the bridge on the table and the extension in the hand. Not sure whether to play it this way or with the bridge. Well, you gotta play the precise draw, so in that case I don't like the bridge as much. Overall I'm quite happy with playing the bridge, but it just depends on what kind of shot you gotta play. Yeah, she's left the opposite angle to cross over for the 1 and the 8 in the bottom left. So this should be done, Gath.
Yeah, and you have to say, great resilience and composure from the Austrian here. It's still at the double elimination stage, so Rocha will have another bite of the cherry. And that will be it, Tim de Ruyter. A big high five. As I mentioned, Sarah will continue, but over in the losers bracket. A deep breath from Jasmine Ouschan. And she comes back from 3-1 down to win this winner's qualification and book her place in the last 32. She's taking it by 6 racks to 3. Been an absolute pleasure with you here joining us. We will be bringing you more men's, women's and under 23s 8-ball throughout today, day 6. And if you want to keep up to date with the scores, please do visit EPBF.com. And if you want to have a look at any other matches under play right now, please do look at the other channels on Pro Billiard TV. Big thank you to Tim de Ruyter. My name is Gethin Davis. We will be back with you shortly for more action from the Miracle Resort, Antalya, Turkey. Thank you very much.